Hey, welcome back to art class with Mr. Darby. Today I'm going to show you how to turn your cardinal project that we drew into a stained glass window. And I use two things that you need: transparency film and black glue. Now I had to make the black glue, and I did find that you can buy it through Dick Blick art supply store, and I'm not sure where else you can get it, but I just use Elmer's glue and I mix it with the black temper paint that we use here in the building. And when we started this project, you couldn't find black glue, so we just created it. If you use the black glue on the transparency and it's mixed correctly, it will stick to the plastic transparency film when it dries. That will give you the black lines so that you're able to paint it with watercolor paint when you're done. Let's check out how to do that. Okay, so something else that you want to do is make yourself some black glue. Black glue is not difficult to make, and of course you can buy it, but when we started making it, we couldn't buy it, so we just used white Elmer's glue, and we would add temper paint to it. So here's our temper paint, and here's our glue bottle. It's huge. I mix it this way because I make about 30 bottles of it for my classroom, and I need to be able to refill them as time goes by. So for a size like this, I'll use an entire pint-sized bottle of Dick Blick's temper paint, and I'll mix it up. It doesn't look like it's mixed. If you see down here where it's white, that's just the outside layer. You shake it up, you mix it up. You don't want it to be marbleized where it looks like it's white and gray and black together. You need to shake it up a little better than that. Then once I'm done, I start filling up these glue bottles, and I just try to keep them clean. They dry a little funny because of the temper paint that's in there. They'll dry even whenever the lid's on nice and tight, and I work with them with kids a lot. But get your glue ready, and we'll use that glue to trace our pencil lines on our transparency to make the black leaded lines of a stained glass project. Okay, so now that we have our transparency put down on top of our white paper, all I did was I used little pieces of masking tape to hold it in place. We can see the drawing perfectly, so at this point all we have to do is trace it. Just keep in mind a couple things. The more you touch your transparency with your finger, the more oil from your hands will get on the transparency and could prevent your glue from sticking, and we don't want that to happen. So how do I do this? It's very simple. Lay the tip of your glue bottle down on the page and just squeeze very lightly as you drag the black glue so that it overlaps where your pencil lines are. When we make these projects, we have to keep in mind things like the glue spreads out. When your glue spreads out, as it dries, it might fill in areas that you don't intend to fill in. You can't really get frustrated about it. Just understand that that's how the glue is going to work, and be patient with it. The black lines that we're making here are the lead lines for our stained glass. You can make adjustments as you go, and you might notice that I got a little glue where I didn't want it. That's alright. One thing I do is I will keep my paper towels handy so that I can wipe the end of the glue cap from when I drag it, so that I'm not dragging old glue through the project. Let's keep going. I add these lines in the background to make it look like wind gusts. The reason I do that is because I want it to look like real stained glass. Real stained glass is broken up and it's not big pieces. So here again, my glue is kind of coming out of the bottle the way I don't want it. So I'll wipe it down. That'll make it a little easier as I trace. So you might want to consider this while you're working. If you get glue somewhere you don't want it, just let it dry. Don't worry about trying to get it clean. If it's completely ruined and you want to start it over, the good news is you can run this under some water for a little while and all the glue will wipe off. But if you get a smudge like this, I'd say the best thing to do is let it dry and then just kind of wipe it down with your fingernail. It should scratch off. Not real easily, but it should scratch off. Now we've given our black glue a chance to dry, and you can see it's stuck on there really well. The paper's underneath the transparency film still. We'll leave it there until we're done painting, just so that we have a nice white background while we paint. Otherwise, you'll see the table while you're working. Try not to touch the transparency film too much with your oily fingers. That way the paint will have a better chance of spreading out. For this part of the project, we use our paint sets. It's just watercolor paints, and I get a small glass of water and a little brush and a paper towel just to dab extra water off. Our goal is to fill the entire transparency film with color watercolor paint, and that way when it dries and evaporates, it will look like stained glass. At this point, the watercolor paint is going to be dry, and we can peel the tape off and remove the drawing from the underside. Let's do that now. it is. Now you might notice from the original painting I changed the blue that was darker blue to like a pink, and in a moment of honesty I just want you to know that the dark blue paint that I originally used, it had something in it that was causing it to crack and to peel off the plastic. Instead of scrapping the whole project though, I just changed the color. So